You know, they love saying how they love following the science, right? Well, we did exactly that, and the science just simply wasn't there where they were. We then followed the money, and we found the science that they've been talking about. You know what I mean? And for people like this, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the next Health and Human Services Secretary may just be their worst nightmare. Case in point, the Senate confirmation hearing that basically outed who was on Big Pharma's payroll. RFK Jr.'s former presidential running mate, Nicole Shanahan, called out various senators by name in a video. She warned these people that she will fund primary challenges against them if they oppose confirming RF Kennedy Jr. to serve as Secretary of Health and Human Services. But Bobby Kennedy defended himself well enough as he was able to shut down this entire line of questioning from Senator Ron Wyden. Now, according to RFK Jr., what Wyden was doing was bringing up something that was dishonest. Then there was Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. He said RFK Jr. frightens people. Well, conservatives on social media clapped back as well, and they called the guy a jackass. In other news, the Trump administration is offering buyouts for nearly all federal employees, including those who work remotely as a part of President Donald Trump's efforts to get employees back into the office. But they only have until February 6th to opt in. Maybe some of these senators should consider opting in as well. What do you guys think? All of this and so much more in today's video, so stay right there, you guys. Appreciate you hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate you guys going out of your way to share these videos. I totally do appreciate you guys. All right, so first, let's talk about Nicole Shanahan calling out all these Democratic senators in her video asking for support from RFK Jr. Because let me tell you guys, these people, they were just put on notice. One of the strongest campaign fundraisers the Democrats lost. Here, check this out.
Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long. It ends now. You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice is yours. Please choose wisely.
Her warning, these senators are going to have a very hard time during primaries if they vote against RFK Jr. Like she said in her post on X, "Dear U.S. Senators, Bobby may play nice, but she won't." And man, the names that she mentioned, she may as well have listed like a whole bipartisan caucus in the Senate. So first there was talk about large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. And let's not forget, Peach State Democratic Senators Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff both initially took office after winning runoff elections back in early 2021. To the 2 senators, Shanahan said that she will be watching their votes very closely, and she promised to make it her personal mission that they lose their seats in the Senate if they vote against the future health of America's children. She then proceeded to call out Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and even Catherine Cortez Masto. Shanahan's promise to these people, if they vote against Bobby, she will personally fund challengers to primary them in the next election. Not only that, guys, she said that she's going to enlist hundreds of thousands to join her. her. She then followed up her video with a post tagging each one of the 13 senators that she had previously mentioned. So you already know she's serious. And man, that confirmation hearing was definitely one for the books. Senator Ron Johnson even commended RFK Jr. for withstanding all the Democratic trash talking that they threw at him and for sticking to his very clear mission in his soon-to-be post. Here, check this out.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your decades-long advocacy for a clean environment, for children's health. I can't say as I'm surprised by the hostility on the other side. I'm highly disappointed in it. I don't know if you remember when you called me up and you were contemplating setting your political differences aside, joining forces with President Trump on an area of agreement, addressing chronic illness, trying to find the root cause of all these problems facing this nation. My first response was, Bobby, this is an answer to my prayers. We need to get to the answers of this, but even more, we need to heal and unify this divided nation. I'm not necessarily the most optimistic guy because we've got enormous challenges facing this nation, but I thought, wow, here's somebody from the left, somebody I don't agree with on many issues politically, coming together with President Trump and focusing on an area of agreement, something that the American people desperately want. Finding out the answers. What has caused autism? What is causing chronic illness? Ms. Kennedy, I think I've come to know what's in your heart. I think I know the personal and political price you've paid for this decision. I want to say publicly, I thank you for that. I truly appreciate what you're doing here.
Now, I'm just saying, guys, maybe any senator who has accepted donations from Big Pharma should not be allowed to vote on the confirmation process. Maybe that, right? I mean, it's obviously a direct conflict of interest here. Just watch as Oregon Democratic Senator Ron Wyden tried tearing down RFK Jr. during the hearing. But instead, he was the one who got debunked. Watch this.
Years pushing conflicting stories about vaccines. You say one thing and then you say another. In your testimony today under oath, you denied that you were anti-vaccine. But during a podcast interview in July of 2023, you said, quote, no vaccine is safe and effective. In your testimony today, in order to prove you're not anti-vax, you note that all your kids are vaccinated. But in a podcast in 2020, you said, and I quote, you would do anything, pay anything to go back in time and not vaccinate your kids. Mr. Kennedy, all of these things cannot be true. So, are you lying to Congress today when you say you are pro-vaccine? Or did you lie on all those podcasts? We have all of this on tape, by the way.
Yeah, Senator, as you know, because it's been repeatedly debunked, that statement that I made on the Lex Friedman podcast was a fragment of the statement. He asked me, and anybody who actually goes and looks at that podcast and will see this, he asked me, are there vaccines that are safe and effective? And I said to him, some of the live virus vaccines are. And I said, there are no vaccines that are safe and effective, and I was going to continue for every person. Every medicine has people who are sensitive to them, including vaccines.
Right, so
he interrupted me at that point. I've corrected it many times, including on national TV. You know about this, Senator Wyden, so bringing this up right now is dishonest.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. What Wyden was doing was basically bringing up something that amounted to dishonesty. I mean, he was talking about an RFK Jr. quote, which the man has repeatedly corrected. He quoted Bobby saying that no vaccine is safe. But Kennedy Jr. clarified he was actually cut off at the podcast, and what he was really trying to say was that there are no no vaccines that are safe and effective for every person. Now, as he pointed out, every medicine has people who are sensitive to them, including vaccines. And Wyden knew that too, according to Bobby. Now, if you look at the actual transcript with the Friedman podcast, he says, I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is safe and effective. In fact, Kennedy is then cut off and the conversation goes somewhere else. Now, of course, Kennedy was corrected in the record on subsequent shows. There was an interview with HBO's Bill Maher in particular where he explained that he was interrupted and assured the public that he would never say that. RFK Jr. even said in the opening statement in the hearing, news reports have claimed that he is anti-vaccine or anti-industry. He is neither. He is pro-safety. Drop a quick yes in the comments down below, guys. Hit the like button if you guys appreciate the information that we're sharing in this one. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell for more updates like this one. All right, so let me tell you guys, a lot of people were mad at this RFK Jr. confirmation hearing. They're saying that this was just politicians berating Bobby for an extended period of time and interrupting him before he could even answer any of their questions. Like, take for example, Democratic Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. The guy claims RFK Jr. frightens people.
We've just had a measles case in Rhode Island, the first since 2013. And frankly, you frighten people.
Now, Whitehouse, who actually attended law school with Kennedy, where the two were friends, used the majority of his time to list concerns about Kennedy. Talk about a backstabber, right? That's the guy who's probably not trustworthy, meaning the HHS secretary nominee was only given a small window at the end to address the line of questioning. That's something that conservatives on social media heavily criticize. As Daily Signal columnist Tony Kennett pointed out, Senator Whitehouse beginning his confirmation questioning of RFK Jr. by saying, I'm very experienced, so you're just going to have to listen. Then talking for like 7 minutes nonstop is such a perfect picture of why Democrats are failing around the nation right now. National Review senior writer Dan McLaughlin, he summed it up even better. Whitehouse delivers a drowning monologue, then tells RFK that he's out of time and can respond in writing. You want it even shorter? Well, here's what Twitchy.com editor Samantha Janey posted on X. What a jackass. RFK Jr. should ask Sheldon about his membership at multiple whites-only clubs. I mean, there may have even been advocacy groups running ad campaigns urging senators to vote against his confirmation, mainly due to his past skepticism of some vaccines. But like the man clarified again and again, he's not anti-vaccine, nor is he anti-industry. He's pro-safety. So yeah, these Democratic senators, they may just be grasping at straws at this point. Maybe they should consider opting into Trump's buyout for federal employees. Yeah, I know they're elected officials and all, but maybe it'll be better for the country and for the American people if they just kind of like quietly fade into the night. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a pretty interesting offer from the president. This is a part of several directives to federal workforce, including a requirement that remote work employees must return to work. They must return in office in person to work. Now, as White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt explained in their statement, after 4 years of incompetence and failure, President Donald Trump is committed to making our government efficient and productive again. American taxpayers pay for the salaries of federal government employees and therefore deserve employees working on their behalf who actually show up to work in our wonderful federal buildings, also paid for by federal taxpayers. If they don't want to work in the office and contribute to making America great again, then they are free to choose a different line of work, and the Trump administration will provide a very generous payout of 8 months. I mean, yeah, I would agree that that is pretty generous. But it's not just that, guys. In fact, the email pointed to 4 pillars that Trump set forth to bring accountability back to the federal government, including a return to in-person work, restored accountability for employees who have policy-making authority, restored accountability for senior executives, and reformed federal hiring processes based on merit. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, if they offered me that, I would take it. Number one, I'm not a big fan of showing up for work. I'd rather work remotely. And not to mention, if you landed another job before the 8 months, you got 8 months of salary as a bonus. That's a win-win for everyone. And federal taxpayers, or basically all of us, we would theoretically have an opportunity to have our taxes lowered if the federal budget for salaries for taxable or for federal employees or reduced or eliminated. Now, according to a senior administration official, the government-wide email is for sure to make sure that all federal workers are on board with the new administration's plan to have federal employees in office and adhering to higher standards. Because we're 5 years past COVID, and since just 6% of federal employees are actually working full-time in the office, they're looking for change. Now, for the Trump administration, this is unacceptable. So the program already started on January 28th and will be available until February 6th. It says that should a federal employee choose to resign under the program, they will retain all pay and benefits regardless of workload and will be exempt from their in-person work requirements until September 30th, 2025. They say that expect 5 to 10% of federal employees to quit, and that could lead to $100 billion annually in savings for federal taxpayers. Now, again, Trump's government efficiency at its finest, people. Now, I just wish Democrats were taking notes here. I mean, like, just imagine if they put in as much effort into saving money for the American people as much as they did into grilling Trump's nominees. Like, we would probably be in a much better place right now as a country. Am I right, guys? Sound off in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this one. More on this one and all the news that matters to you guys in the future updates. Make sure you guys don't miss them. Subscribe to the channel now. Tap that notification bell. Also, don't forget to check out our recommended video at the end of this one. Definitely some great updates to watch after this. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.